everybody. So it's been a minute. What the fuck is this? It's been a minute since I made a video, but I tend to make videos on like memories that like comes to me and I like get mad about out of nowhere. Like, have you ever like been in taking a shower and you think about an argument you should have handled better from like 3 years ago? Alright, so that's what happens. But this was actually kind of more recent, which is why I didn't make a video about it. But this is about the worst experience I had in SYEP, which is a wonderful summer program, by the way, in New York City. I don't know if other states have it, but yeah, they like try to help out young kids who this is probably their first job, and they try to give them experience and things like that, which is awesome. So this is not a hate video towards SYEP because I love that program. Like, honestly, if your state doesn't have it or your country, then that's your wall, and somebody needs to start it up. So yeah, so I wanted to make this video. I kind of want to tone it down from like how I usually am, because it's more of a serious thing, and I feel like this shouldn't happen to anyone, because it's like, what, really, this was unnecessary stuff. So the point being, I feel like everyone has a job, and when they go to work, they become in a way a little bit of a different person. There's a lot of people that when they go to work, they act more professional than they do in their own personal lives. And I feel like everyone can understand this. You don't go to work and you don't act like ratchet or ghetto or curse or, you know, all those things. Like, everyone is different. Like, there's like teachers of mine that I know like are in rock bands and stuff, but then when they're in school, they're like 7 years ago. Like, you know, so they're professional. They don't show like their outside personas or whatever in the workplace, so that's understandable. So I'm just saying that because I want you guys to like, there's a difference between Annie's outside and Annie's here. So there was Sweet Annie's ready to do any task that you gave her at this job. I am not gonna give this person an actual name because I'm broke and I'm not trying to get sued. So I was in SYEP, and again, this is not a hate video to SYEP. I love that program, amazing. And I was in SYEP, and I got a job, and I'm gonna name my boss at that job, the coordinator of that location, whatever his name is. I'm gonna call him Andrew Harry. And Andrew Harry, if you want to put a face to the name, think of that guy who like cried OD in Medea Goes to Jail. I forgot his name. He's a really good actor, but he like cried. Okay, that's what my boss looked like. Anyway, so he was nice off the bat. You know, tried to help me. He was all over the place though, because he did not inform SYEP that him and his other co-workers were used to working at home. This was an at-home job that they could have done on their laptops. They could have came into the workplace office once a week, and he told me this many a times. The first day I went to work, I was supposed to meet him at 11, I think, and he showed up at 1. So, you know, this man was equally as all over the place. Like, he was not ready to take on a young, you know, person who's trying to get their first ever work experience. He was not ready to take it on. So he said, yeah, sure, I need someone to help me, so I'm gonna just, you know, put in the application to be a work site for SYEP and, you know, whatever. And he even told me this was the first time they had SYEP there. So yeah, so he was a bit of a mess, and I had to deal with that. I had to deal with coming at different times, or I would get there at a time that he told me to come. There was so many times he'd be like, be here at 10, and I would get here at 10, and the dude would come at like 12, 11:30. So it's like, why you do this? Like, you know? So it was a mess. So what happened was, he told me one day, he saw that I, you know, I'm not as wealthy as other kids my age, or we're not really all that wealthy, but you know, I need some money, and he knew this. So I thought that he was trying to give me a helping hand, and he offered me a second job outside of my SYEP. He said, hey, because it was a media group that I worked for, like advertisement. He said, hey, you become a field rep. You go, you put these posters at these locations, and you walk around the city, and I'll give you have to do 30 locations in 1 week, and I'll give you money. And I was like, all right, so all these the other normal field reps, they get $11 an hour, and I was fine with that. I was like, wow, you know, I mean, not $11, 11 per store. So every store you did, I think it was like 11. Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, yes, I spent money on a little cart. I put all the banners and every poster and all the stuff they wanted me to put in these stores. I put them in a cart, and I was ready to go. And I was like, oh my god, yeah. And mind you, I live in Jamaica, so I would have to take like a train and then connect it to another one all the way to the city. Like, it was like a big hassle to do this like grunt work basically. And I was happy to do it because I really genuinely felt like, wow, he's really trying to help me. And he said, I'm lacking on field reps, like, can you help me out also? So I was like, yeah, sure, of course. So I did 10 stores, and on my last store, my phone was robbed. So someone took my phone, my $700 phone, and I was like crying so hard because I don't play with my mom's money. Like, my mom bought me that phone. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I know what that means to me and my mom. It's like, that's an expensive phone. I called my boss. He knew the situation. Not only did this guy steal my phone, he stole my Metro that my boss had given me, and he stole my IDs. He stole 2 of my debit cards. So he went to McDonald's and went to town on my debit cards. Like, it was a big thing, and my boss knew this. So the next day I was done with the field rep stuff. I did not do any of that work anymore because he felt bad for me. He was like, oh, maybe let's take a break. Maybe I could put you back on the field when you get a new phone. So I was like, okay, no problem. So a few days passed, and I was like, hey, you know, when's my money gonna come? And he was like, well, I told you that, why would I give you that money? Because I told you that you had to do 30 stores minimum. And I was like, yeah, but it's 11 per store. Like, I mean, I got my phone stolen. Like, can you at least pay me for the 10 that I did? Mind you, I was walking long city blocks, like a lot, and they were all in different locations. This man truly worded his way out of it and never gave me that money. And then I got conned again by him when we were at a very hot storage unit, packing and unpacking and doing all these things for him. It was at that point another girl had came from the program in SYEP. She also came, and me and her were doing all this grunt work. And he said, oh, one of these days of the week, because you guys did all of this work today, you guys could take off. So I said, okay, and then I was like, all right, whatever. So I chose the day after that I did all that work because I was tired. So I chose the next day. I kid you not, we did this work on Monday. I took off Tuesday. I came Wednesday. And oh, sorry, I'm missing the biggest part. He said you could take a day off, and I'm gonna pay you each $50 for your work that you did, for me and the girl. I swear on my whole entire life, I came Wednesday and this man did not want to give me the $50 because he said I took off on Tuesday when he told me I could take off any day of the week. Oh, so in total, he owes me $230. Never ever gave it to me. And then he would complain to my work site that I was like, that I would be late and that I would always ask for lunch breaks. And I swear my whole entire, on my mother's existence, I never went on one lunch break the whole entire time I worked. Like, literally, never. I never went. And so I was just like, wow, like, are you serious? Like, is this like a human, is this a real actual person doing this to me? So I was like, wow. And mind you, I was so nice to him. Like, I never was never disrespectful. I would always try to be there on time. Like, even though I knew his schedule was a mess. Anyway, fast forward to the last day when I got fired. Not only did he not pay me $230, but he fired me, and then he tried to worm his way to kick me out of my program, which it doesn't work that way, buddy. So he was running late, right? And the day I got fired, somebody came, some girl who I don't know the name of it, but she's the coordinator. I don't know. She came to pick up our timesheets for the program, me and the other girl. The other girl goes to the front and gives her timesheet. She's talking to the girl. When I tried to go talk to the person from my program, one of my boss's coworkers stops me and goes, oh, you don't have to go, like, she already knows your thing. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, oh, because I had a worksheet, I had a timesheet, and the timesheet needed to be signed by my boss, which I remembered distinctly the day before, I told my boss, hey, she's coming in the morning. I think you should sign my worksheet now, because she's gonna like need it. And what if you're not here early enough to give her my worksheet signed and my timesheet signed? And he was like, no, I got it. And of course the dude was like an hour and a half late. So I was like, oh, I told my boss's coworker, hey, but let me just talk to her. I'll tell her that he's coming to sign it, and you know, I could get paid. He's like, no, he's coming right now. Don't worry, she knows you're here. She knows you're here. And mind you, the whole time he's like quietly talking to my boss, and I don't know what they're saying because he went outside the room. So I'm just like, what? Like, okay, whatever. So I found something really, really suspicious. Like, I found it really fishy. So I was like, what's going on? Like, why would he not want me to get my timesheet to her? Like, does he not want me to, like, mind you, in this program, the city pays me. This is a program. The city pays me. It's not like this man is out of his pocket paying me for my program hours. Like, are you serious? Mind you, he didn't even pay me for the second job that he gave me. So I'm like, I find it suspicious, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And as I walk to the bathroom, I go up to the girl, and I'm like, hey, you know, just like real quick, you know, it's okay that you can wait for him, right? He's coming to sign my timesheet. And I kid you not, this girl goes, wait, who are you? I wasn't told there was another SYEP participant here. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, they told me that you weren't in today. Hallelujah. I was like, my heart sank at that point. I was like, are you serious? So yeah. Then I obviously wrote like the longest email to my program about him. So I ended up getting paid for my last week, even though on the last week of the program is when he had fired me. I got paid because you can't just unfairly fire me because you're a liar and a con artist. Like, you can't just do those things. So Andrew Harry really, really messed up a good thing for me. Messed up putting him on my resume. Messed up one of my first ever work experience. Owes me $230. Like, I couldn't believe it. And like, honestly, I feel like genuinely this shouldn't happen to anyone at all. Like, especially if you were trying your hardest to impress another human being. Like, the point being, I don't think this should happen again. And I really feel like these work sites, how is it so easy for them to like lie basically to this program and be like, hey, yeah, we need SYEP participants, bring them in, but then they're not even in the office. Like, and then he lied and said I would take lunch breaks. Are you for real? I never took a lunch break the whole entire time I worked, but I would lie because I didn't want my SYP to be like, why doesn't he give you lunch breaks? And I was like, in my head, I'm like, girl, I didn't want my program to tell him to give me lunch breaks, because then I feel like he would get mad and take it out on me. And it was already like a awkward, you know, relationship at this point with my boss. I wasn't with it, so I was not with it. Anyways, differentiate. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I need to edit this out, but I don't know how to edit, so whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. And please I just pray please that the Lord just figures this out, and he just, I don't know, I just really wish I had those $230 because I got my phone stolen for a job I didn't even get paid for. Please think about that. I got my phone, my $700 phone, stolen at a job that I didn't even get paid for. And all he had to do was give me $230. Are you? And that's not even half the phone price. Like, anyway. So yeah, worst experience ever. Bye.